Thank you all. This exhibition, tracing historical events of our capital city, will be interesting to all. We are very pleased to introduce our new director, Shri K.G. Kumar, who has recently joined this organization. Mr. Kumar is also the director of Vishveshwarya Industrial and Technological Museum. I now request Mr. Kumar to deliver the welcome speech and share his thoughts about the exhibition.
A very pleasant good evening to all of you. This exhibition, NGMA Bangalore, at NGMA Bangalore is a collaborative venture between the Alkaji Foundation for the Arts, and I am very happy that this extremely informative, a beautiful exhibition has been set up in NGMA Bangalore today, and we are getting it open now. We have with us this evening Sri Sudhakar Rao, former Chief Secretary, Government of Karnataka, and the Chairman of the Advisory Committee, NGMA. He is the chief guest of today's function. On behalf of NGMA and the Ministry of Culture, I extend a very hearty welcome to Sri Sudhakar Rao. It's my honor to welcome Shri S.G. Vasudev, eminent artist and member of the Advisory Committee of NGMA Bangalore, who agreed to be the guest of honor and preside over today's function. A very hearty welcome to you, sir. This exhibition has come in an excellent form with persistent work and coordination by Sri Rahab Alana, who is the curator of this exhibition. I just took charge on the 31st of January. And that was the day I met Rahab, and I think from that day, he has been working tirelessly to set up this exhibition. And I had a glimpse, I saw him working, till late evenings, coming early in the mornings. On behalf of NGMA Bangalore and Ministry of Culture, I welcome you for today's function. We have with us Mrs. Amal Alana, who is the mother of Sri Rahab Alana. I think mother has to be welcomed first because she gave Rahab Alana to us. A very hearty welcome to you, ma'am. For any activity of any organization, whether it is NGMA or any other organization, to be successful and reach people, media in all forms are the key to take the message to the people. I welcome all the media persons who responded to our invitation and are attending this program. I am so happy to see that so many guests responded to our invitation and decided to be with us this evening, although this being a weekend evening, people have shown interest and come here. At one end, I'd like to welcome all of you for responding to our invitation and also thank you for responding to our invitation. Again, I would like to welcome each and every one and look forward to your cooperation in future programs of NGMA Bangalore. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. This exhibition has been insightfully curated by Mr. Rahab Alana. Mr. Alana is the curator of the Al-Qazi Foundation for the Arts in New Delhi and a fellow of the Royal Asiatic Society in London. He is also the editor of India's first photography quarterly entitled Pics, funded by the Goethe Institute. I now request Mr. Alana to share his experiences about the exhibition.
So, thank you, Tejasvi. Gazing out of the marble Jharoka in the Lal Killa, the very last Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar witnessed the ruin and plunder of his walled city, Shah Jahanabad. It appeared, he says, as an orphan to his eyes, incessantly pillaged with encampments on all sides, fallen to the hands of over 80,000 Sipahis, and later razed to the ground by the English East India Company. A horrifying photograph of the emperor, taken after the siege of the Red Fort, alludes to the manner in which the East India Company treated their prisoners merely as objects on display, as subjects of an imperial world. Bahadur Shah, the capitulated monarch, depicted as a resigned and enfeebled Mughal king, sought merely to stare at his portraitess, Robert and Harriet Tytler, in anguish. Ironically, it was here in his own Diwan-e-Khas that the captive emperor was unjustly tried with treason and found guilty of the allegations against him. Bahadur Shah was exiled in Rangoon and without any religious ceremony was buried in open ground. Without a trace or even a tombstone, the remains of our last king lie hidden forever. I would like to thank the National Gallery of Modern Art for their unrelenting support in bringing these histories to us. At the core of any collaborative endeavor lies a living, pulsating, and growing series of initiatives driven by absolutely all those involved. And the experience here has allowed us to know that exhibitions of this caliber signal contexts, histories that cannot be complete without a synoptic view of that history. Time that is spent ideating, time that is spent detailing, time that is spent sharing, and being open to the foresight of those who have created histories, being part of those histories in order to envision the next step forward. In this exhibition dedicated to Delhi, time becomes a variable entity. Heritage, cultures, they become infused, seamlessly taking and morphing from one another. It is this endeavor to rouse a sense of historicity that is about a litany. It is a litany of moments, and these archive of moments is always shifting. And so the story of an image is the story of how things have declared their permanence, and how a fragile object can be about a mysterious kind of intellectual traffic, a mysterious kind of social network. The exhibition's presence here in Bangalore is then as real as it is a metaphoric sense of an exchange about how a city, not only Delhi, but other metropolitan spaces have together contributed to the making of a collective identity for India. It is homage to all those repositories public, private, that has allowed us to live in a sense of where we live, how we live. And so it is not only about celebrating this moment, but also about finding resonance across the board, reflecting on who we are. And so if there are exhibitions like this, there are horizons of contestation between identity, between locality, and such an interaction provides a sense of cultural difference today, a sense of global capitalism, a sense of citizenship, a sense of neo-imperialism, exile, secularism, and these are the boundaries that must be transgressed for a more humanist understanding of our contemporary world. In going about the process of doing the show, I was introduced to some young students of photojournalism, who came a few days ago to see the show. And after taking them around, I realized that the way I dealt with them, the way I was dealing with Delhi, was about how it had grown, how it had perished. The Mamluks, the Khiljis, the Tughlaqs. These distinct imprints are left on every part of Delhi, especially the seventh city of Delhi, Shah Jahanabad, originally designed on the scheme of Isfahan. That was too pillaged and destroyed. The Delhi Darbars happened at a time of famine, where over 10 million people perished. And as I explained to them, I came across other details, such as when King George V came for the coronation, he came trotting out of the Red Fort, but no one recognized him because Indian princes usually appeared on elephants. The students told me that my accounts were vaguely interesting and not exactly engaging in the least. So I wasn't exactly thrilled by this description, but then I did realize that cities beyond the terms of history are very personal things. They are personal spaces. They are about people, how people invest their dreams within cities and try to realize them with time. And so the exhibition, as it was, starts with a couplet. Agar firdaus baru e zami ast, o hami ast. If there is a paradise on earth, it is here. And we make that paradise, and we are part of its becoming. And so, in a sense, I wanted to thank everyone here for their hospitality and for making me, especially those 4 students, part of the history of this city, those devoted students of journalism. And though we might have Delhi as the capital of India emerging in the 19th and 20th century, I think I'm fairly clear, as many would agree, that Bangalore is certainly the capital of the 21st. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahab, for those insights. And hopefully one day we will also have a show of Bangalore with the Al-Qazi Foundation. We are delighted to have Shri S.G. Vasudev, an eminent artist who is also the member of the advisory committee of this NGMA. Mr. Vasudev has encouraged us by regularly participating in our programs. May I please invite you, sir, to say a few words on this occasion.
Friends, I do not have anything to say about the exhibition because I haven't seen the exhibition. In fact, I wish they had asked one of our senior photographers of Bangalore to be here as a chief guest instead of me. However, Mr. Rahab Alana has spoken about the show and how it was conceived and things like that. I'm happy that the exhibition has come to Bangalore and for the Bangaloreans to see the show. I'm just taking a few minutes of your time You see, many people still do not know where National Gallery of Modern Art is in Bangalore. It's a pity. A few artists, perhaps about 4 or 5 of us, years ago fought for the place like this. And we got the place. And we could do whatever we could. But it was opened without staff members. Without nobody is on the staff. No, there was no director, no staff, nothing. And then Culture Secretary promised that they would do something about it. He would do something about it. And with great difficulty, we requested one IAS officer who just retired, Shobhana Bisan. She was here for 2 years, and she tried her hard to work for the promotion of the National Gallery of Modern Art, Bangalore. Very hard. It was not so easy. Because everything is controlled by the ministry in Delhi, and everything is controlled by the National Gallery of Modern Art in Delhi. The funds to this place has to be routed through the National Gallery of Modern Art, Delhi. Ministry doesn't give direct funds to us. And every program, we have to sort of beg them to give money. I do not know why ministry wants to start a National Gallery of Modern Art and not look after the interests of the place. And with great difficulty, I have been asking, we should start Society of Friends for the National Gallery of Modern Art. At least we can get funds from those people. No, even that is not accepted. All over the world, all the museums and galleries have got Society of Friends. They do give a lot of, they support exhibitions, they support financially many things, but here we have to depend on only government money. And I do not know how are we going to solve this problem. I know the directors have come and gone. This is the 3rd director we have today, and still the ministry has not planned to have a permanent director. I do not know what we are going to do. No, why I'm saying this, I'm really sad. After all, we have got a beautiful building, beautiful collection, beautiful exhibitions, everything is going on, but it is going on without any of this sort of a good support system. So I only hope that stepmotherly treatment is not meted out to us here and also to Bombay NGMA, and I hope we will have autonomy sometime soon. If not, I think the artist community of Bangalore will stand to that. I think we will really fight for that. That's the only way I suppose we can do it. This is becoming too much, and they're all promising. Every time they promise something or the other, but I shall tell you one small incident. For example, if I have to have an exhibition, we have to write a proposal, and the proposal goes to Joint Secretary, Government of India, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Culture. And the Joint Secretary asks, what is it all about? What does he know about culture? What does he know about art? Why are we sitting here as advisory committee members? We are suggesting certain things. Even that had to be routed through a Joint Secretary Culture in Delhi. And he has to okay it. We have come to that stage. I hope we'll go beyond that stage, and I sincerely hope the Bangaloreans, my friends here, would all support for an autonomy of this place, and that government should give directly funds to the National Gallery of Modern Art, Bangalore, and also they should institute Society of Friends. That's the only way I suppose we can prosper. Anyway, thanks a lot for inviting me, and I'm sharing whatever I could, and because it's inside me, and I just cannot be very happy seeing everything here going well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. A well-documented publication along with a portfolio of 6 photographic prints has been published on this occasion. May I request Shri Sudhakar Rao and Shri S.T. Vasudev to release the publication and the portfolio. publication, along with historic photographs, features essays on semiotics of image and the role of Darbar photographs in visually rendering complexities of colonial reason. Both the publication and portfolio are available on sale at the museum store for the entire duration of the exhibition. It is my great privilege to invite this evening's chief guest, former Chief Secretary, Government of Karnataka and Chairman of our Advisory Committee, Shri Sudhakar Rao, to deliver the inaugural address.